Hello, everybody. We are live with the 8th Uppsala Young Champions. This is round 3. I'm Jon Ulver, and you are?
Joachim.
And the round started just 2 hours ago, but we have a bunch of pretty interesting games. That's the wrong screen. Sorry. We have a couple of interesting games. Where do you want to start? This
I
board?
think we should start from the top, so this board.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe we go a bit fast in the opening.
Yeah.
So seems to be some Nimso Indian position.
Pretty normal by this looks of it.
Normal. Yeah. We have some hanging pawn structure.
Yeah.
If Black decides to play c5, which I guess he will do shortly.
And it does happen, yeah.
Okay, so maybe here, when we are putting on e5, yeah, continue with f4 and some queen f3 to h3.
Oh, yeah.
Go for some kingside attack. So I think Black can respond to this in a few different ways. We can put the f6 knight into e4 to block the bishop, but I think also we can ignore the attack for the time being and maybe push on with c4 and then prepare to play b5 and b4 and have a counterplay on the queen side. But I don't know.
C4, yeah, C4 at least seems really annoying for the bishop, but
We'll have to put the bishop back. So I think if we want to play c4, we should wait for queen f3.
yeah.
Otherwise, if you play c4 immediately, the bishop goes back to b1 and then the queens come to c2.
Ah, yeah.
So we get the threat on the h7 pawn in one move instead of 2 moves with queen f3 to h3.
yeah.
So maybe we should continue.
Yeah.
I think this is still somehow known.
This, yeah,
Okay,
I mean, seems,
reasonable.
yeah.
So I think if Black doesn't get the counterplay soon, it becomes a bit scary. Now with the bishop maneuvering to h4, so we have soon another piece in the attack, and Black is still a bit clumsy, so I think Black should react somehow, not just wait. So let's see what he did. He played a6.
Yeah, a6, kicking out the bishop.
So
And kicked out he was.
yeah.
Is,
So
I guess the plan is maybe to try and go forward with a pawn push, or seems,
yeah, I guess you could do that. Maybe you want to open the c file with capturing on d4 at some point.
yeah.
So with the rook on e7, it can swing over to c7, and we might get some pressure on the c file.
Yeah. Oof.
So if we continue, rook c7,
And he does
yeah,
get the c file
it takes on d4.
and takes.
It's on f6.
Yeah, takes on
Yeah,
f6.
okay, so this is clever, I think. When we take on f6, you can't take with the queen, because then you can take on d5 with a knight and win the exchange.
Ah, yeah. So, taking the damage to the pawn structure.
Yeah. I think you can just take back on d4.
Yeah.
And I think White should be a bit better here. So we both have an isolated pawn on the d file, and the kingside pawn structure clearly favors White.
Absolutely.
And so Black has the bishop pair, but I think it's not important, as if you want to retain the bishop pair, you have to go to b7 or a8, and on that diagonal,
Yeah.
the light square bishop is pretty useless. So I think you have to take on a4.
Which is what was done.
Okay, so you take with the queen.
And then rook attacks the queen.
Rook c4.
And here we are. This is the current game position.
Can you take on a6?
Can take on a6.
Then maybe you take on d4.
Yep.
And I don't know. So maybe if we go back, not take on a6, if we just play... I wonder if we should just play queen d1.
Yeah, going absolutely back.
So I think black will push on with b5, threatening b4.
Yeah.
I think you can play queen d2 or queen... queen d2, I think.
Queen d2.
And if you go b4,
Yeah, now by
knight d2 or knight a4, I'm not sure.
yeah, I mean both. Let's just say this, both seem really nice. And here,
So I think,
I guess you could trade, but
yeah, if we trade both pair of rooks, I think this endgame should be a bit better for white. Maybe a lot better, I'm not really sure.
and then
But yeah, take with the knight.
yeah,
So I think you could, if you're unambitious, you trade like this and try to win this endgame as white.
it seems seems difficult to win though.
Yeah, so you have some chances. I don't know. I think it should. There must be something more ambitious. So, with the rooks traded, the relative lack of safety for black's king is not as important. So then the damage pawn structure on the king side is just the damaged pawn, not. So it's not important anymore that
Yeah,
the g file is open. So
might actually maybe help in when if the queens come off the board, might help black develop their king.
yeah, of course. So I think if you go back to the current position after
Yeah.
rook c4,
Yeah.
I think white is the one with like pleasant options. So I think there should be some way to get some sort of advantage, but I think maybe black has reasonable chances to hold at least.
Yeah.
I think they just played the move queen takes a6.
Or I think this is the move we played. Wait, if I just refresh to be absolutely certain.
No, they
Oh
play-
no, they did play it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that surprised me a little. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We should continue to the second board, I think.
All right. And
Where
that
we
is-
have the highest rated player.
Ooh, yeah, and this is the first GM to enter the Uppsala Young Champions, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
yeah. I remember this tournament when it started. It was a 10-player round robin with no title players, and here we are 7 years later.
Oof. And now there are like what 60 players, 50 to 60, 50 to 60 players.
I think it ended up with just under 40 players, but it's a really strong field, nevertheless.
Yeah.
So, see what happened in this game. So, Queen's the Indian. This d5 gambit is really interesting, and I think it suits Ludwig's style. He's really tricky, so like I think this is a clear indication he wants to fight in this game. So let's go on.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
this is known.
Hmm?
Okay, e4, steel theory.
And here,
Yeah,
I mean, Ludwig still has over an hour and 30 minutes.
wow.
Seems like he knew what was going on.
Yeah, so I think this is sort of known at least, or I have seen similar things to this in this line.
Yeah.
So white still has the extra pawn. Black has the extra pawn, but white still have some sort of initiative, and it's a bit difficult to develop the knight on b8.
I mean, also like, but look at black. All of
Yeah.
their pieces are almost on the back rank,
Yeah.
and most of them aren't too well. The knight is defending this pawn, but other than that, this knight doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Yeah. So as the knight on b8 really can't move, then the rook on a8 is also stuck. So
Yeah,
black still has some problems to solve.
but I mean, he is a grandmaster. They seem
Yeah.
to always pull something out of their hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now white has the bishop pair also.
Yeah.
So I think Ludwig is happy enough with this position.
I mean, it
So-
does seem like a nice position.
So I don't think black has solved his problems yet. So we still have knight on b8. You can always take on c6 immediately, or take on b8 and then on c6 to win back the pawn.
Mm.
But I think that's rarely in white's interest, as if we do one of those exchanges, there will be equal material, but white will have the worst pawn structure.
Yeah. And I mean, now everything is
Yeah.
fairly opened up for
Yeah.
black.
Then suddenly you just move the a8 rook, and your position is fine.
Yeah.
You don't have many problems anymore. Played rook
But it-
d1.
Yes. And looking for a bishop exchange, maybe? No. Just disconnecting the rooks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he takes.
Okay. See?
Ah.
Oh.
This is maybe a good trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't take on c7 because of rook e8.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ah.
So I think Ludwig has managed to get something here.
That is a tricky spot. Wow. Defended and everything. Jesus.
Yeah, as I told you, he's tricky. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised he manages to find these tricks. But maybe, okay, how do you proceed from here?
It's,
He
wha-
takes.
Is that?
So I think the what he wants is you take on b8, and if you take with the a rook, we can take on a7,
Yeah. So you're
and
here.
maybe you somehow end up with an extra pawn, or gets a few of your pieces to the 7th rank or something.
Yeah.
And so I think if you could move the f pawn back to f7 and make another pawn move on the king side, then black would be completely fine.
Ah.
But now it's a bit scary.
Yeah. He takes and takes with the c rook.
Yeah.
Ooh. Might the plan be to like double up the rooks then on the on the 7th? Oh. Yes.
So
This.
queen g4.
Oof. Very nice position. And
So I suspect that black never wins this.
No. But yeah, like white definitely has the initiative. But it's still gonna be tough to turn this into a win, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, and we have h6. Is it? Is it any good, or? I mean,
I think it's reasonable now with the king on h8. There's no back rank issues,
yeah.
and also White has placed his queen and his rook on optimal squares. So I think Black basically says, okay, how do you proceed? Okay, a4.
An a4. Oof.
So I think we can let Ludwig think for a while, and we
Yeah.
go to the next game.
Board 3. Wow, this
Real opposite position or Italian?
seems. Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
Italian.
Okay, so I think Jungmin plays a bit of everything. So he's not the one to win in 20 moves with some opening trick.
Yeah.
He just gets some solid, like very strategic position, and he outplays you from there.
Oof.
I have played him many times, and I think you don't want slow strategical positions against him.
Yeah.
Or I at least I played him. If I get those sorts of position, so I often lose.
I mean, for me, I just often lose all positions, but this is gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so this position has been seen many times, so
Yeah.
I think we can go forward pretty fast.
Yes.
Oh, knight d7. I
Whoa.
think it's interesting.
Yeah, like for even I have seen pretty much this position a lot of times, but here, it's an interesting move.
Yeah. So I think his idea, I guess, is to do some sort of king h8 f5.
Ooh, here and here. Ooh, wow,
Yeah.
I cannot do arrows.
But it seems very ambitious. So I don't know. I think d4 is the natural reply. There is no pressure on e4 anymore, so we can play d4.
Which is what happens.
Go back.
And now, queen goes. Queen has to
Yeah.
hide. What about, could you not? I mean, I know it's counterintuitive to move your piece back, but the knight just doesn't seem to be doing too well.
So I think if you go back, knight f6, we take on e5.
Yeah, ooh, there we go.
And if you take back with
Yes,
or the knight,
here,
we exchange queen, and then
Yeah.
we take on
getting this.
f6, and White might even consider g4 here to just fix
Yeah.
the weak f pawns. And I think White should be enjoying some sort of advantage here.
Yeah,
So queen e8. And also, if you go back with a knight, you admit to have made a bad move with knight e7. So, okay.
okay, kicking out the bishop. And kicking out another bishop. Wow,
Yeah.
bishops
May-
are being kicked a lot.
Yeah. So I think he'll go back to c1 here.
Ooh, I hope not. Well, he seems like he's just gonna reorganize his pieces, prepare for the next game.
Yeah, but I think it's reasonable. Like this will be a slow game.
Yeah, I mean it's the Gioco Pianissimo.
Yeah.
It's usually kind of like that.
With the bishop on c2, f5 isn't like really reasonable anymore. So we will expect a slow maneuvering game then keeping the right pieces it becomes like a higher priority when you got time.
Yeah.
So go forward.
C5, B3, and yeah, just kicking the knight back out and
Okay.
closing the structure, perhaps. No, black doesn't
Yeah.
seem to want that. It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think Jungmin likes his position. So I think after if you go move forward, I think he can at any time play b4
Yeah,
and then maybe a4 and play on the queen side, or he can maneuver the d2 knight to f1 to g3 and do something on the king side.
yeah. I would have thought he'd just play b4 right now. I mean, yeah, just kicking out the knight.
Knight has to go to b7,
Yeah,
but
the
then
bishop is kind of locked away from some of the squares, but
then maybe you could. Then I think after you go to b7, and if you don't play a4 immediately, I think black will play a5 and your structure on the queen side will start to crumble.
yeah,
So knight d2.
there. Oh,
Okay, so he goes to the king side.
and now looking for a queen trade, or just gonna leave them hanging. Now fixing up some of the. Oh, so first the knight goes away and then you push.
Yeah, so when he goes back to b7, I think you're pretty much forced to go to b4. Otherwise, he'll play knight c5,
Yeah.
and he'll get the knight into the game. So you will go forward.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, and here we are.
So I think Jungmin enjoys his position.
Yeah.
So I have played against Adam too, and I think he wants some position that's a little bit more dynamic than this.
Yeah. And Jung plays f3 or queen
Yeah.
f3.
So maybe we should go to. I see on board 7 we have had a decisive game.
Ooh, yeah.
So William Olsson beat Leo Kreatin. And I know they played in the Uppsala Chess Festival 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember the result. I think it might have been a draw.
So decisive victory here surely
Yeah.
is nice.
So I'm a bit surprised. So I know Leo very well. I have played him many times, and we have played a lot of draws. He's really solid. He likes to play sort of passive positions, like many of these like semi-soft positions when you grab the pawn on c4 and just hold on to it.
Yeah.
So, but let's see what happened. Okay, so we have some strange
Yes.
isolated queen pawn position,
Yeah.
but I think this is known theory.
I have never seen this before, and I can tell
Yeah.
you.
So the big thing here is where it says, okay, you can play knight b6 if you want and take on c4, but you can have the bishop pair, but now you have fixed my pawn structure and I'm a pawn up.
Yeah.
So not trying to grab the bishop on c4 is a good idea. So
Oh.
I think we can go forward. This is one.
Ooh.
Maybe we go back a little bit before b5.
Yeah.
Yeah, rook e1.
Rook e1.
So b5 isn't so common, but okay. It should be fine.
Yeah.
Played in a lot of top level games, so
Yes.
okay. Interesting if we look at the clock times
Yeah.
that William still has. He has gained the time.
Wow.
So
He seems to know what he's doing.
So I know Leo, like when he gets tough opposition, he almost exclusively plays the Caro-Kann. I've seen him play other things, but not too recently, and not against like strong opposition. Okay, so
Taking the knight out. Queen goes forward.
Queen b6.
It-
I'm not sure, but maybe that's where you want to put the queen.
Yeah.
I thought of c7, but maybe there always will be some. You develop the bishop somewhere from c1 and put the rook on c1, and it's a bit nasty.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's,
so maybe queen b6 is reasonable,
it might be.
but where do you go? b4.
Wow. Oh,
Sure.
okay.
Surely this can't work.
What?
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 Okay.
I am quite scared. Takes with the knight, and then knight takes other knight. Jesus.
I think you can go queen b4 now.
Yeah. And that is what happens. What?
Maybe he missed this.
Yeah.
Maybe you can find some sort of compensation if queen b4 wouldn't have been available, but now you have a piece for the queen.
And here, black resigned. Is
Okay, so
wow.
maybe the 16th move b4 was just a miscalculation.
Yeah.
So those things happen.
Yeah, of course.
Should we maybe go down the list and see there
Uh-huh.
are some more decisive games?
Yes,
Go to board 15.
board 15 with Julia and Alexander. I know Alexander is an Icelander, and other than that, I know nothing.
I know Julia quite well, as she's a member of the club.
Yeah.
A local hero, so to speak.
Ah, yes.
So you see what happened. So
E4. Well,
so
C5.
Sicilian is definitely expected.
Yeah.
So let's see. We get some open Sicilian.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
And
Najdorf.
Najdorf, okay.
Okay, so something very theoretical.
Yeah. And it. Oh,
Still all theory.
yeah.
Okay, so G5 is maybe like if you haven't seen it before, it seems really strange. I can explain. Like the thing is, you want to get rid of the pawn on f4 to put a piece on e5
Ah,
and have really strong dark square control.
yeah. Okay.
So you have many famous games from this position.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Is
Still theory, I think.
yeah.
Queen g4.
Ooh, what happened? Am I missing something?
I think you can just go queen g8. King, or I'm not sure.
Wait, I'm gonna quickly check. Yeah.
Maybe we should try to calculate this without the computer.
Yeah.
So g8.
I mean,
So after king d7, at least we can take on f7.
yeah.
And I think that's really scary. So, but bishop f8.
Bishop f8. Is there?
There should be something. We can start to look at crazy moves like bishop b5. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, like
Or maybe you can just go rook h3 or rook f3 and double on the f5.
yeah, maybe. I mean, there's not a lot of places where the king can go to get safe.
So you want to play bishop d7, but then we take with the queen on f7 and win the bishop. So, okay, but what happened? Queen g8 didn't happen.
No,
So, move 21, I think.
sorry, yeah. Here, and yeah,
f3.
rook, ooh, and then just f6,
Ooh.
queen g7, queen
Queen
d8.
Why can't you play rook h5? I'm confused. Rook h5.
Rook h5?
Oh, you can just take on f6 with the rook,
Ah,
and the bishop
Yeah.
is pinned.
exactly.
Okay, so maybe we just look at the. I think
Yeah.
queen d8 was the last move.
Queen d8. Yeah, there we go. This was the last move before resignation.
So I think maybe. I think it. So it was a balanced game until rook h6, and it's pretty harsh that it collapses immediately.
It's
But it happens. So
yeah.
maybe we should look at the other decisive game.
Yes, Victor Muntian against David Ness,
Yeah. So
and it's another Sicilian, but a different one.
okay. So I know I have played Victor once
Hmm?
in this tournament actually a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think 2 years ago, and he played the C3 Sicilian.
Ooh.
So I think he plays it almost exclusively.
Yeah.
Still, we have some theory.
Seems like he knows at least what he's doing quite well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Bishop f5. Let's go back one move.
yeah.
Why bishop f5? I would have thought that the bishop on c8 don't have like a good square. That maybe you should just go to g4 and take on f3
Yeah.
when provoked with h3, of course. Okay, bishop f5.
Yeah. I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything to attack it, so
Rook c1, c8.
taking one of the knights.
But why?
It's a good question.
Okay, so I see his point is that he can play bishop a4 check, and black will lose the right to castle, but you can quite comfortably hide your king on f7, so I don't think this should be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
g4.
What? Am I
Okay,
missing
so-
something?
I think his point is if you take on g4, you take on e5 or go knight g5 and win the bishop. So I think you take on e5 probably.
Wait, with a knight?
Yeah, and it's check.
Oh,
No, with the king on f7.
yeah,
so-
but can't the pawn just take?
Yeah, and then you take the bishop with the queen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
This may
yeah.
maybe, but I'm not sure that this is good for white.
But
He
black,
found something else.
yeah. Black
Okay.
went b2
Queen takes b2.
and then goes forward with his plan, apparently. Okay.
But wait,
Wait. I'm just wondering, like,
if you take the piece,
yeah.
you take on. Do you take on f5?
On f5.
But then you take on c3, right? With the rook.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess this.
It's very messy. So
I mean, here, like, black is just up a lot of stuff.
okay, but
It's
so if you just take on f5 now,
Yeah.
after king g8.
oh yeah. Here. Now
Do you take on
it's like
c3?
yeah. It's
Maybe you don't need to take. Maybe you can play d6 here.
d6.
And if you take on c1, with queen d5 here,
Queen d5.
king g7, queen f7.
Uh,
But now maybe you can run.
yeah.
Okay, so
here-
d6 is probably a bit too much.
Yeah.
So, can we do the same, but we exchange on c3 first?
Ooh.
So, if we take on c3, queen c3, and then d6,
Ooh, and
Uh,
the
pawn to
D6,
d6,
yep.
you can't take on e5 as we go d7, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
And then we promote. If you
Like
so
this.
if so we take on. Do we take on d6?
I think so. I mean,
Okay, if we take on d6, then
This seems still like a really nice plan for, or a really nice spot for black. But the king is.
so now I haven't sacrificed so much, 2 pawns, I think.
What about
queen d5?
Queen yeah,
Queen d5, king g7, queen f7.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean here
Do
there's
you-
much to do,
Can we go knight g4?
and like here.
King g5, protect the f6 pawn.
Exactly.
But maybe you can take with the knight on f6 here. If you take
Yeah.
with the knight on f6,
Yeah. Ooh. There.
no, it doesn't work. So my idea was after knight f6, queen f6.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, knight
that'll
f6.
work. Knight f6 instead of queen f6.
Yeah.
You take with the queen on f6. Now I wanted f4.
Ah.
Oh, it does work. So you play f4.
Yeah.
King, you gotta protect the queen, so
Exactly,
you take on f5. You play bishop c2,
Oh.
and then you win the queen.
Jesus. Wow.
So you, when we take with the knight on f6, you can't take with the queen.
That is quite rough.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, but I think taking on f5 and finding this line
It's
in the heat of the moment is
pretty unrealistic, I think.
yeah. We
It's,
can't expect this.
I mean, it's an absolutely magic line. No.
So you have already played one game today. So
Yeah.
okay.
Ooh. Okay.
What is
Ah.
Take on c3 now. This I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can take with the queen also.
I mean,
No, this is his point, right? So, I think what he calculated here. Now black loses, I think, after. Okay, it's a trick at least here. You take with the rook on c1.
oh, okay.
But so
Oh.
if you move the queen, we take on c8.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can take with the queen on c1. Here,
Yeah.
knight c1, rook c1, and the material count is go king g2, right?
Yeah.
So now we have 2 rooks and a pawn against the queen.
Yeah, that
But
is.
it's still a mess. So
It's.
okay,
This would
but
be interesting to see at least. But
So,
what did
but-
happen?
I think he missed rook takes c3.
Yeah. Oof.
Okay.
It seems like a pretty brutal position.
So now you can go queen g5, right?
Yeah. And now it seems like you're just completely stuck.
Yeah, you're down a lot of material now. Okay, but now,
Now you're down.
yeah,
Yeah.
down the rook, I think. Okay, this is nice. So-
Jesus.
You have to take on e8,
Yeah.
but we take on e8, and then take on c1,
Or yeah. Here.
and we are
I mean, you're
piece
just
and a pawn up.
exactly.
And now it's simple to win.
Yeah.
So I think there has been another decisive game on board 3. No, sorry, not board 3. Oh, we have on
We
board
have a
9
couple.
and
Yeah.
board 10. Should we
Yeah.
start with board 10?
Sure, absolutely. We have here.
So-
Karel Broska against Mattias Unneland.
So I know Karel played here last year.
Yeah.
I think he's from Czech Republic. He also have some orthodox Queen's Gambit.
It seems
Okay,
pretty interesting.
maybe now we'll have after bishop d3. So if you go back one move, here you can consider 2 things.
Hmm?
You can take on c4 and not get hanging pawns.
Yeah.
But you can also play with bishop b7 and get hanging pawns. So it's interesting. Before, so here you should take on d5 as white. White take on d5 here.
Yeah.
So and if you take with the pawn here,
Yeah.
your light square bishop is misplaced on b7. That's why if you go back to after b6, before one more move here
Here.
after b6.
Yeah.
So here, white definitely shouldn't take on d5, because then you take back with the pawn and put the light square bishop on e6, where it's much better than on b7. So-
yes.
Here it's important to allow d takes c4 by playing bishop d3 to not get a bad version of a hanging pawn structure.
Yeah.
So
But yeah. This
he takes with a knight, so I think this is fairly standard.
seems nice. Ooh.
Okay. Never mind. So
It's-
I think I recognize this sort of position, but with the bishop on g5.
Yeah.
Okay, here king e2. I think this is interesting.
It's. I've definitely never seen this.
e4.
Yeah. Going for a queen trade apparently.
Do we take on c7 now?
Apparently we do. It.
Okay, so maybe if we don't, you
Yeah.
can go. If you play, let's say rook ac1,
Yeah.
black can go bishop d6.
Bishop. Wow, I am blind. There we go.
And you don't lose the pawn.
No. Yeah.
Okay, but it took on c7.
Takes on. Wait.
Yeah, if you go back to the position.
Yeah.
Take on c7.
Yeah.
Some experience of this sort of pawn grabs in the orthodox Queen's Gambit is that probably black will get enough compensation with the good development if he plays correctly.
Yeah.
So I think in many instances like the objectively best thing is to just give this pawn and use the compensation rather than protecting it for too long and becoming too passive.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, okay, so
And I mean, now you have the open file.
yeah, so g5.
Ooh, absolutely bullying the bishop.
I'm not sure what the plan is. I thought you wanted to go something like rook fd8 and get some pressure on the d pawn. I think what in an optimal scenario you win back the d4 pawn
Yeah.
and have better pieces. But maybe you can do something like try to go for after bishop e3 you go f5. So here g5.
Oh,
G5
sorry.
first.
Yeah.
Bishop e3 and then f5.
And, yeah.
And then try to go for f4 to dislodge the bishop from e3. That's maybe interesting. He did something else.
He apparently pushed the g pawn again.
Wow.
It's
No fear.
quite risky. I mean, I get the queens are off the board, but it's not exactly safe out there.
Okay, so
95 trades, and yeah, just looking for trades, apparently.
okay. So maybe this h3 is maybe a good move. So if you like in the game take on h3, you have problems with the h6 pawn.
Yeah.
And the nice thing here is white's bishops are optimally placed to like don't allow any entry squares on the c5 for the rook.
Yeah.
So I think white will have like will be in no hurry because I'm not sure where black should play. So maybe if we go back one move.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough.
I wonder what happens if you play. Okay, you can't play h5 because you just take and play rook h4, and you can't protect the pawn.
I mean, what about just sacrificing the pawn?
I think if you go g3 here,
Yeah.
I might go f4. And then if you try to, so my plan is probably to go rook, maybe king f3 and take on g3, or get the rook to the third rank and then take the pawn. So if black tries to defend this pawn with h5, I think he go h4.
Ah.
And
Okay.
this pawn will be lost.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely gonna be tough.
so you take.
Rook takes, and rook goes back, of course. And king just wants to hunt down everything. Ooh.
Okay, I think white is quite a bit better here. As you don't really have any weaknesses, you can play anywhere you want. You have the superior bishop. Black has weak pawns on h6, on c5, on a7.
Yeah.
Okay,
Couldn't taking... no, never mind. I thought about takes, but then here you
Yeah.
get all the pawns. Yeah.
so as a rook ending principle, if both players start to just capture everything,
Yeah.
it's most likely will be a draw.
Yeah. Ooh,
So-
okay. Wow.
I think this is really nice.
Yeah.
Now you just move the bishop back and then you play b5 and then you take a c4 pawn. And then
Jeez.
you're up 2 pawns. If I count correctly.
Yeah. This seems absolutely brutal.
Yeah. I think it's pretty hopeless. As there isn't a clear way to gain counterplay. So
Yeah.
that you're 2 pawns up isn't maybe the important thing, is that you don't need to allow any sort of counterplay.
Yeah. And here black resigned.
Okay, I think it soon will be so strong.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go to board 9.
There we go. Hugo Wernberg against Alexander Nord. And ooh, no,
Okay,
we almost
yeah, this I know.
yeah.
Uh,
I've never seen this before.
it's the Jubava London, I think.
Ah,
Okay, so he plays this really aggressive stuff with G4. I don't really believe in it, but like there are strong players who play this.
yeah. Ooh, okay, G5.
Yeah. So basically, we just say, okay, there isn't a clear way for black to open up the position, then we can gain space on the king side. So
Yeah.
if we just go back a little bit, queen b6, I don't understand. I thought you want to... Do you need the queen on b6? I thought your idea is to play b4.
Yeah.
But in this instance, with queen on b6, you can go knight a4 with tempo if you like.
Exactly.
So,
It's quite weird. But
okay.
I mean, seems like black is just pushing all their pieces to the queen side.
Yeah, so I think black needs to figure out how he breaks through on the queen side.
Yeah.
Or maybe he can try some strange queenside castling.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not completely stupid. It seems like very risky because you have pushed all the pawns, but you have all the control on the queenside.
yeah.
So knight e5.
Bishop seems like a bit of a target on e5, but
Okay, so
yeah.
4. Okay, but now I think now the bishop on b7 will be stuck behind its own pawns for a long time,
Yeah.
and you have a conundrum on the king side. Like if you don't play g6, white will play g6 at some point and ruin your pawn structure, maybe sacrifice a pawn, but then every pawn falls.
Yeah.
If you go g6, okay, then it's very, very simply, I think white just targets the f7 pawn, and you will have a rough time.
Yeah.
I think you won't be able to develop the bishop on f8 without cutting the support from the f pawn. So
So
F1.
rook f1.
reasonable. You go queen g4, I think. Takes d4
Yeah.
and g5 simultaneously.
And
Knight d2. Okay.
yeah, well, having 4 pawns in the middle. That's
Yeah. So black needs to do something.
yeah.
But now a4. I'm not sure how you open things up.
It seems like a difficult position.
Wow.
Okay. Is
So I think now his idea is he gets to take on d5, or if you take on e4, he'll play d5 and sacrifice another pawn to get queen d7 check. and force the king to the king side.
Ah.
And I think that will be very scary.
And he takes. Okay. And yeah, exactly.
And now, if you don't take, we'll play d6. But I think you can't do this.
It's just, yeah. Queen d7.
He found something really nice here. Bishop e6.
Wow.
And now you can't protect f7.
Yeah, it's.
And it will be checkmate. So, as the pawn is pinned, there's no queen takes e6.
Yeah, it is. This is truly a brutal position.
Yeah. So, I think Hugo played a really nice game. But
Absolutely.
I think now we'll take a 3-minute toilet break, and we'll be back shortly.
And we are back. When. Oop, that's. I'm doing stuff. There we go. We were just finished going over Hugo's game against Alexander Nord. And while there are no other decisive games yet, we can check on some of them.
So I think Ludwig is finished.
Oh.
It doesn't show up on the broadcast.
Ah, Okay.
I saw them analyzed by the just beside the refreshment area. So
yeah. We had analyzed it a bit.
yeah,
Was
so it was after A4 we left, I think.
After A4, okay.
Go there very
Yeah.
quickly.
Exactly. And
So move 29.
yeah, okay. Here we go. Yeah, exactly. This did seem quite tough for the Grandmaster to handle. But how
So-
will he handle it?
So I think he found a clever idea here. So there's another purpose to H6. You can put the queen on H7
Ah.
and then to G6.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe at some point. You should be mindful of queen B7 and then the A7 pawn might fall.
Ah.
But there are some tricks there.
Yeah.
That you can move the rook. And
Ooh.
I think if you would have taken on A7 here, I suspect is it perpetual or something?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Isn't. Oh.
No, shouldn't sack our queen.
This. I mean, it's what I do best usually. And
Maybe you can play. Can you play queens? No, you can play queen C4, I think. So, if you take on G7,
oh yeah, G7. Sorry.
that's what I'm most afraid of. You can play queen E4, I think.
Queen E4. Yeah.
Then you go king H3, queen F5. If you go rook G4,
Or rook G4. Yep. I mean, isn't it?
H5, then you win.
Yeah.
Because there's no. Or do you? No, you don't. Queen E8.
Queen A8. Okay.
So king H7. You play queen G8 check.
Queen G8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
King H6. Queen H8. Or queen G7 immediately. Just checkmate.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus.
So maybe, but you don't have to play H5. You can go just queen H5,
Queen H5. Okay.
and then you have to go rook H4. Otherwise.
Oh yeah.
And now you go back. I think.
Yeah. And
And if you can't go G4 here instead of rook G4.
Oh.
Because there's mate on F3. And if you go king G2 instead of G4,
here we go.
you play queen D5.
Queen D5.
But maybe you could. No, I'm not sure. If you go back here, can you go F3?
F3. I mean, isn't that just?
But at the queen D2, then you go king H3,
Yeah.
and there's no queen D7 because
about-
that hangs the queen.
Yeah. What about the rook though? I mean, you'd have to go back, and then
Okay,
I mean, it's just back to perpetual. I think
okay, then we know that.
it's.
So it's still a mess. So it's not many pieces. You think this will be simple, but
Yeah, it is
there-
anything but. Oof.
So there's a lot of tricks.
It is quite. That yeah, it's just way too much for me. King G2 was played, and Yeah, queen h7.
But now I think black is holding easily with the queen exchange.
Yeah, this is.
Oh no,
But
you take on b6 now. Of course. But then you take on a4.
You take on a4.
And you go queen b7, queen d3, something.
Yeah, it's.
But I think now
Interesting.
black has gained enough activity to.
It's probably a draw at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta be careful. In some cases, if you lose the a6 pawn and the queens get traded,
Then it can get
So-
tough.
so those rook endgames can be lost. So
Yeah.
especially here where the white king is faster.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ooh.
this
This is.
So I think here the important thing is if white just sort of pushes his
Mhm.
pawn, black uses his a pawn as a decoy.
Ah, yeah.
So usually in this sort of scenario, if the c pawn just don't promote immediately, it should be definitely holdable for black.
Yeah.
So c6, a3.
Ooh. And
Okay,
Yeah.
but now.
and this is the apparently where the game
Ended.
ended. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the live broadcast hasn't been switched off, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was here where they agreed to draw.
Okay.
So maybe we should go to the fourth board.
Fourth board. Yeah. Edwin Trost against Milton Panzer.
Yeah, so
There we go. A lot of d4s.
yeah.
Have we seen a game that's not d4? Oh yeah, no, we saw two. I think.
Jungmin didn't play d4,
Yeah.
and we had this crazy Najdorf game. Or
Yeah.
not crazy. It was very like a lot of the theory, then some careless rook move, and it was just over.
Yeah.
That's why I'm scared of Najdorf.
But yeah, here it's
Okay, so Catalan. This is very
Interesting.
topical.
yeah.
Knight c3.
Ooh.
I don't think is. Did you go back one move?
Yeah.
I thought. Okay, knight c3. I see is common, but I've had this position a few times,
Mhm.
but then I think I played knight e5.
Yeah.
So I don't want to allow the capture on c4.
But
So you
I
can
guess
play.
it's just hard to.
You get the pawn back.
Yeah.
That's not the issue, but I feel when you can take on the c4 in a safe way,
Mm.
you get a d5 square for your knight. It in my experience it becomes a little bit easier to free up your pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a couple of trades. And here,
Yeah.
oh my god.
So now the important thing here is you have taken on f4 with the g pawn and made sure it won't be possible for black to play e5. So the other break is c5.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
at this moment, if black would play c5, you can play d5,
Yeah.
and then that is what white wants. So black wants white to be forced to take on c5, or at least not have the possibility to play d5.
Yeah.
Okay, so rook d8, knight e5.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is another thing. it can be quite nice to take with the d pawn, because now if black plays c5, there's no like tension in the center.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is
okay, bishop e4, g6,
a4 unexpected, but I mean, don't see.
So the thing is, when black plays c5, you put all your queenside pawns on dark squares. So now white can base his play on controlling the light squares,
Yeah.
and a4 is a part of that plan. Also, you make sure that that the black doesn't have the possibility to play b5
Yeah.
and continue to expand on the queen side. So you want to suppress the black pawns. Okay.
They do a rook trade. They do another rook trade.
Okay, but now black has the bishop pair and hasn't gotten any clear weaknesses. You have the c6 pawn that's a bit tender, but it's well protected, and you will soon be able to play c5. So that isn't really a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, when c5 happens, you have to make sure that white can't make use of all the vacant squares in your position. You have a pawn on a7 that might be a bit weak,
Yeah.
so yeah, it might be unpleasant if you play c5 at the wrong instance. But maybe you don't have to play c5 so soon. Maybe you can go queen c8 and bishop a6 to activate the bishop that way. But I don't know. But I don't think black is in any trouble.
Yeah.
I would actually prefer black, as you have the bishop pair, you have the d5. Okay. Maybe we should continue.
The
Okay, queen d2.
that's
I think it's nice. So
yeah. There.
Oh,
Okay.
bishop h4, I think, is a clever move.
I mean,
So-
yeah, queen has to go, or yeah, knight can also go back. Yeah. And now,
I think. Wait,
oh,
if you go back one move.
Yeah.
No, sorry, you can't. I wanted to play knight d6, but then you can take on f2.
yeah. But
Here, okay, we threaten mate in 1 on g4. Always nice. Okay,
this,
g5.
ooh,
Alright.
okay,
I think this is clever. Okay, you have a weak king, but black has the more active queen in the
yeah.
middle of the board. So
And if the
And-
queens get traded, then you just have two passed pawns here.
you have 2 passed pawns, and now you can start push your queenside pawns.
Yeah,
So I think close to winning, at least.
yeah. And
I'm not sure how. Maybe a perpetual here.
yeah, I mean, Milton is very low on time here. So
I think it's a perpetual.
yeah,
What happened when?
yeah. This game ended in a perpetual.
So, I wonder what happened with king on king h6.
Yeah.
But then queen h8, I think. And if you go queen h7, you can go queen f6.
Yeah. And
And
now
now
it's
this-
still just a perpetual.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Uh,
Edwin managed to find his way out of what I think was a dangerous position.
Absolutely. It
Okay.
seems quite lucky.
Should we go to the fifth board?
Yes. Vignir Vatnar against Jakub Kusa. It is, let's see, another d4.
Yeah.
And
Another Caroline.
okay. Seems.
Okay, very, very topical.
Yeah. Ooh. And everything just gets traded.
Then you go 95, yeah. This is on. You have sacked the pawn.
Yeah.
But there are some practical issues for black.
I know Vignir is among the strongest players in Iceland.
I believe he recently became an IM. Or I know that because I
Yeah.
played him in an IM tournament at the Uppsala Chess Festival, and I think like the day before the competition or something, he got his title confirmed.
Oh, amazing.
And I think like he didn't achieve his last requirement for the title very close to the tournament. It was just like the processing time of getting the title confirmed seemed to be really long.
Ah, yeah.
Okay,
Seems interesting. F4, F5 by 4.
I go G4, I think.
Yeah. And rook takes. Okay. Wait, why not bishop though?
I think if you take with the bishop and you take with the pawn,
Yeah.
and then do you protect G4 or do you take on D5? I think now if you play F3 for example,
Yeah.
you go bishop E6 and you just let E6, not D6.
I have a brain.
So now if you take on B7 with the knight,
Yeah.
and I take B7,
Yep.
you can just go rook C8.
Oh, rook c8.
Yeah. And you get good development. You have the bishop pair, and white is severely lacking coordination between his pieces. So
Yeah.
I think if you should like retain the grip in the position, you should give up the exchange.
Okay.
But it could also backfire, of course.
Yeah.
You give up some material.
But here he went, yeah, rook takes, and sacrificing the rook. With this check, I mean, it's only like, it's a 9 and a pawn for a rook. It's not bad, but
So I think the important thing here is you can't develop the C8 bishop now.
yeah,
So if we count the material in the pieces that are actually doing something,
then I mean these two
Yeah.
basically don't exist.
then you're ahead by 2 minor pieces.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, ooh. Yeah, okay. And
Now he sacrificed a piece for a pawn, I think.
ooh,
Okay, but I think now white is the only one who can try to win this.
yeah,
And I think he's also really telling that Wigner has an hour in this position.
oh wow, I just noticed that. Yeah,
So,
Jesus.
but okay, it's not trivial.
No.
Now he gives a pawn, but I think his job gets much easier if you exchange the rooks, so you can just jump around with the pieces
Yeah.
for a really long time. Okay, gets
Ooh.
one pawn, I
Gets
guess
both.
another.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, never mind. So
Oh,
yeah, but now
just like you can take this, right? Just. Oh wait, sorry.
yeah, it was check.
Oh yeah, the bishop, of course. Yeah, sorry, I thought.
But now I think the a pawn just runs.
Yeah. Wow, and
I think
I mean,
the game has ended.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that white won.
Yeah, so now if you go rook f8, you play a7, I think. And then if you go and threaten the pawn with you
Isn't it
just protect b5.
b5, okay.
And then we play bishop c4 to d5.
Yeah.
But okay, or no, you know what we do? We just walk with the king. So we want to protect. If here we play king h3, just go to the side.
Or I mean,
no, h3. It's important here.
oh, h3, okay.
So if you go, no, go king f4.
f4, okay.
Yeah. So bishop c4. But then you take on g4.
And you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you take on a7 with the rook. You sack the rook.
Oh yeah.
But now maybe the pawn
I mean,
runs. Okay, I think this is still winning, but here you can make some error and end up having to sacrifice one of the pieces.
yeah.
Okay, should we maybe see if there is some other game that has concluded?
This one I don't believe we will look at.
Board 14.
Board 14, yeah.
Sondre against William.
Uh,
Okay, it's e4 for a change.
Oh, I did not think I would ever think, oh, where's e4? One of the more common moves.
Okay, so some Pert's defense, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I think g3 is not very ambitious, but okay, it's playable.
Just, I mean, seems, at least for the moment, and this is still move 7,
Yeah.
seems pretty dry though.
So
Ooh.
I think here black will do something on the queen side. He'll play a5 and b4,
Yeah.
and white will play either f4 or go g4 and knight g3.
Ah, yeah.
He will do something on the king side.
Yeah.
Okay, g4.
Yeah, g4. And knight g3. And b4 is. Ooh.
I thought you would play. Maybe you can't take with the rook because d5.
Yeah. I mean.
And this you don't want.
Yeah, this. But just let's, I don't know, pretend. Maybe
Yeah.
not there, but
But I can go bishop b4.
yeah. The rook
Maybe it's a
can't
bit
really-
clumsy.
Yeah. It's difficult for the rook to stay there. But
Okay. g5. If it works, it's good.
Yeah.
So it's what you want.
Exactly.
g5. Okay.
Ooh. I mean, don't you just take the knight? Yeah.
But I think maybe that okay, you win a pawn, but the position opens up and you have pushed your g pawn
G5.
up to g5.
Oof. It's gonna be difficult to defend it in the future.
Okay, so I don't believe you can take on a8. It seems really dangerous. So
I mean, let's give it a test. Ooh, why-
okay, I think it's what he played. So maybe we should just continue.
Oh yeah, that is.
Okay, queen a8,
Ooh,
d3.
I mean,
Okay,
Oh.
d3 is maybe a cool move. So
yeah.
I guess the idea is to open the a7 g1 diagonal. So you go
Ah,
bishop c5 and then queen f3 threatens f2.
yeah.
So
Yes.
bishop d6.
Oh. What?
I don't really understand this.
Uh.
But maybe. Okay,
mm,
but
I'm.
I'm,
Okay.
so maybe white survived this because when you go bishop b7, we can play d5. And if I have count the okay, bishop b7.
Yeah.
Yeah, bishop
Oh,
B-
bishop.
B- yeah, so it's
There and then.
okay, played
Oh.
bishop f. So maybe we can here we can play like bishop e3. When you go bishop b7, then I go d5,
Yeah.
and we have no more problems on this diagonal. Maybe we should continue with the game. So
Yeah.
queen c6, bishop f4.
It's, I mean,
Ah, this is a real nice trick.
yeah, because if bishop takes, queen goes,
Yeah.
and then the knight you have to, yeah. Wow.
It's a nice trick. So let's see what happens. Bishop b7. Okay, d5.
Yeah.
Queen a6. I guess this is forced.
I mean,
If you go queen c7, then you run into knight b5
Yeah.
with a fork. And if you go queen b6, then I go rook b1. Then you have to go queen a6. Then I take on. No, I take here first.
yeah.
Then can't capture. We take here. And this is no good.
Yeah.
So queen a6, bishop d6, queen d6, rook d1.
Is
Okay. Threatening a fork on f3. Nice try. Queen e3, bishop c8. So maybe black has not enough firepower here to have enough compensation for pawn and exchange.
yeah. He's just
Like
on an exchange.
Count correctly. Maybe I don't know. You can't move the knight from e5 because of back rank issues.
Yeah.
So pretty tied down. But let's see what he did. Okay, rook b6, knight f3, king f1, bishop a6. But can't you just
Uh,
no? You can't take because you take back with check.
But wait, a bit earlier, can you take in one back? Or back here? Can you just take in the knight? Or oh wait, the
Then
rook
we-
is hanging. Yeah.
Then we take the rook. Okay, bishop a6, king g2.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
That's,
believe this works. Okay. You just run now, I think.
Yeah. Here, white won.
Yeah. There isn't another check, I think. And now we're a rook and a bit down. So, okay, we do a sort of like complicated game.
Yeah.
So I think we have some results now.
I'm-
Or we have checked all those games. I
yeah,
think.
exactly.
Just is our broadcast catching up with us?
This one I don't think we've.
I think we looked.
Oh
at
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. We did look at that.
But
yeah.
the next board.
Yeah.
Okay, another e4.
Ooh.
So a Caro-Kann. Okay.
It's,
So Jung means younger brother playing white, I think.
ah.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I don't know too much about what he plays.
Yeah.
But I think he's the lower rated in this encounter. So
Mm.
let's see. Okay. So theory.
Yeah.
Queen a5, knight d2. I know they play c4 at some point here, but I don't play this with either color, so I'm not really too familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, c4 now. We can see this being played in some high-level games, so
Yeah.
I think we should continue on. And g3. Okay, queen a6, b3. Now c5. Okay, so I think c5 is nice if it works.
Mm?
So I'm not sure that black necessarily wants to castle in this sort of position, because you have trouble defending h5, or you pretty much be forced to play g6, and then you have some tender dark squares.
Yeah.
So maybe we want to delay this, and if you can, you want to have the knight on c6. We get some sort of French-like structure,
Yeah.
but without the poor bishop on on c8, or the light square bishop. Okay, so c5, bishop b2. I wonder. I think take must be the critical thing,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if there's some problem with bishop c5, or you just say, okay, I continue on. I don't know. Okay, now you threaten knight g3, so king g2. Move out pieces. Now if you go bishop b2 or a3 to prevent. But I think this shouldn't be. I don't think white's better here.
It seems like I think white is just in quite defensive here. Black might be slightly better, I think, but only because they have more of an initiative, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. So I think at least it's easier to play with black.
Yeah.
You just move out your pieces, put the rook maybe on d8, and you see what happens. Okay, so bishop b2, knight c6, queen b1.
Ooh, that does not seem like a good move.
I'm not sure what you're scared of.
Or it's just that you, like, most pieces are now just pretty dead.
Maybe you want to remove the queen so you can take on d5,
Yeah.
and you maybe don't want to go here,
Ah.
or this sort of thing. I would suspect. Okay, queen b1, rook d8. Once again, I think now it's much more comfortable playing with the black pieces here.
Yeah.
Okay, opening up. Is there a problem with capturing here? What are we afraid of? There's gotta be something. Is there something nasty with knight d4?
Maybe, but
Or is it some b5 thing, and you move back, and we go like this,
yeah.
and then we're afraid of something on the diagonal? I don't know. But rook c1 seems strange to me. Maybe okay. It's tricky. You can't take on b3 because the bishop hangs, and then maybe his idea is just to take with the rook.
Yeah, I mean,
And you get an active rook on the 4th rank. it might be quite useful there. So
It's definitely a possibility.
maybe it's an interesting idea at least.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens. So bishop b4 seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And-
No, this b5 idea. So
Yeah.
I think white needs to be a little bit careful on the diagonal.
Exactly.
But
I
I don't feel it should be like enough to create very serious threats.
I. Oh.
Okay, a3 I
Okay.
think is smart.
Yeah.
So you want obviously to go back to d2, but now it would have lost a piece. So
Yeah.
I think something like this will favor white. So
Yes.
I don't know. There you go, queen b6 maybe. Then take with the rook.
Yeah. Defending the pawn. Well, mostly. Not.
Or something like this, and then maybe. Okay, so you might get some initiative. You go knight d5, like bishop a3 and you can't castle.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think you want to go back. You did. d2. Now he castles. Okay. Okay, queen e4 is perfectly reasonable. So maybe you can go queen f4 and knight e4 and start thinking about playing knight f6, sacking a piece.
Yeah.
To open up the king.
It's.
Rook d5, queen f4 seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
So rook d8, knight e4.
Yeah.
Okay, now you put all your eggs in one basket. I think.
Going
We-
for the attack.
Yeah,
and
going for the attack.
if you
But
don't
is
get
it
it, you'll
enough?
probably bust.
Okay, maybe I can go like rook d3 and it starts to get a bit uncomfortable, but I'm not sure if whether white's attack is dangerous, but we'll have to see. So queen b7, I think it's a good move. You want to move both your knights at some point, but then we have discovered attacks, so
Yeah.
good. Okay, now he goes for it.
Oh. Okay.
Let's see. Maybe you can go bishop f8 also. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if it's necessary, but okay. Bishop c5 seems okay. g4.
What?
But I have
Can't you go just
I
queen
wanna-
check? Yeah.
king f8
I mean,
probably.
I guess he runs, but the knight is pretty annoying.
So if you go here, I think we
Uh,
just go here.
What about knight check or take the pawn
Take the pawn.
and then knight to e3?
Okay. We should not blunder the queen.
Yeah.
I'm amazed it took me more than 1.5 hours to blunder my first queen.
Well,
Okay, I have blundered mate a few times, but
don't worry. Last round I blundered like 1 or 2 queens. It's
it's bound to happen.
yeah.
Okay, g4. Takes. King f8. Knight g5.
I don't.
So,
I think you should go for the queen instead. Like try to put the queen somewhere in there, but I know there's no space for it.
so this knight is very annoying now.
Yeah.
So maybe that like that holds black's position together.
I mean, if you had like 3 moves, then maybe like h5 and then knight h4. Try and
Yeah.
push it. That's the only thing I can see to justify
Yeah.
this position.
But now discover the attacks, right?
Yeah. Oof.
If you go here, maybe you can go here.
Yeah.
And if you go here, we take here.
Jesus.
So forks and discovered attacks everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, queen e4, bishop d4. Okay, seems reasonable. Queen h7.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go back now,
Uh,
or do you do something else?
honestly, I don't know what else I'd do.
This is nice because you want to take here, but the knight protects.
Yeah.
And if you go queen g7, you just go king
Then
e8.
he just runs.
And if you go queen g8, then we have knight f8, and now we have
Black's king is surprisingly safe.
yeah. Now we have built a wall to protect our own king from the attackers. So okay, this happened. So
Oh.
king f1, rook f5, king e1. Okay, but can you take on g5?
Mm, I don't think it would be bad, but I don't think it would be good either.
You could consider this, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You have to calculate.
Yeah.
It's their job, not ours. Our job is to blunder the people. Okay, he played rook e5. Okay, but I don't know what's the best discovered attack
I
is.
mean, I guess knight to b3.
Knight to b3 or knight to f3. He goes knight f3. Okay,
Queen. Yeah.
this should be made somewhere.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, yes. And then a ladder.
And we get
Oh.
our favorite checkmate pattern.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let's see. We have a result on the third board, which we haven't checked out.
Yes.
You mean what? I'm not surprised that you won from the position where we left it last time.
It was pretty insane.
We left it at,
I think roughly there, yeah.
I think queen f3 was the last
Yeah,
one. we
exactly.
saw. Okay,
And
so knight g5, queen g4, king h8. I think the problem here I'm not sure. Wait.
It's-
Should you go here and go for h4? Oh wait, the knight protects d6, so this is senseless.
I mean,
So probably you should go for a4 now.
yeah, I think that's probably the
If you
best
go
plan.
a4, we don't have to do anything on the king side now.
I mean, it's pretty much stuck.
And if he goes back, we can maybe trade if we want and continue on the queen side.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, he goes back and
Okay, but this may be smart. So I think keeping pieces is in white's favor.
yeah.
We have more space and better placed pieces. So both black's knights are
Yeah.
pretty
Like, I wouldn't
pretty
say.
sad, to
Yeah.
be honest. Okay, let's see. Knight g5 and queen f5.
No. Okay. I guess you can get the knight in.
Yeah, so I think this is
Yeah.
maybe. So you can't kick the knight just yet. You go to e7 and then to c6.
Exactly.
It's fantastic. And if you go something like this, maybe I
can't you
wanted
take,
to double on the file, but then you take.
Ah.
So we shouldn't do that. But maybe here you just go rook a2.
Yeah.
Go rook a2 and you double on the a file and then you take on b5.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but what happened?
King f1.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not what I was expecting, but
So this is typical Jungmin thinking very far ahead.
I mean,
So
I guess he wants to play f4 in the future at some point.
Maybe, but I think it's as simple as you want to take on b5 and double on the a file and don't want to allow this tactic.
Of course, yeah.
And he has to go to f1 to so that the f pawn remains protected.
Yeah.
Okay, so takes on
Okay.
f5,
That's.
bishop b6.
Don't we then get just a beautiful knight?
Okay, maybe we do, but maybe black can dislodge it with knight e8. So
Of
maybe
course.
here you just go here, here, and you go here.
Which is almost exactly what happened in the game, except.
Okay, but this we can't do because I can't take back.
Yeah.
So maybe here you have to go like this. No, sorry. Okay, maybe it's a little bit tricky. They went rook e8, knight c6.
And then f5. I mean.
I think that might be a bit desperate. I think
It
he wants something like this and then get that pawn. Maybe you can go here, I don't know.
Yeah. I at least would not want to be in black's position.
Yeah. This might get messy. If you go something like this, then if you take, you can go here.
Ooh.
I think.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I guess yeah.
I'm not sure. No, sorry, this we can't do. I want it here to go like this.
Yeah.
I haven't counted the material, but so tactics left and right. So ef5, knight f6, a5. Okay,
Oh, I mean,
this is smart.
Yeah.
Same thing. Now bishop e4.
Yeah.
Okay, knight d8 takes.
Seems.
Here I'm certain you will win. Yeah, you can just work on this small advantage. I think you put the king maybe on f3 or something, and then you try to get the rooks to the king side, and then go h4 and g5 at the right moment.
Yeah. I mean, the pawns for white look absolutely amazing. But because basically all of the pawns are left on, maybe the knight is a bit better than the bishops. It's
Okay, but
just a traverse, but the white definitely seems better.
I think the important thing here is you have the space advantage and you have the only pawn break.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you'll struggle a lot if you try to come up with a reasonable plan for black. So I think this is getting pretty dire. Okay, knight h7, king g2, with bishop e2. You know, Yumin will take it slowly. He's not in a rush.
Yeah.
So f3. Okay, now he changed the bishop. Okay, so he slowly improves. Rook e3. I have no idea why, but
I guess waiting or something like that.
maybe.
I mean, black doesn't have a lot of moves.
I
really.
think maybe now black has reached some sort of optimal setup.
Yeah.
So now if you move the king, the knight, around the rooks, you will make your position worse.
Exactly.
And then so then we just waste a move and say, okay, it's your move. Okay, rook d1.
Is
This may be clever. When he plays g5, he want to still have the bishop.
Ah,
So when the position opens up, the bishop will be good.
yeah.
Go back. Rook g8. Rook d2. Okay. Where does he want to put this bishop? Maybe there's some problem with playing g5, and now he tries to figure something else out. Maybe you want to go f4.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, he just moves around for a bit.
Jesus.
I've seen him on this sort of stuff in so many games, and you can't wrap your head around how he always manages to win. Okay. I think.
No.
Okay, now Black loses his patience and plays b4. Then you play g5.
Yeah.
Here, I think if you take back, or I think maybe you can go here and say, okay,
Yeah.
now I get a fantastic knight on e5. You can have your extra pawns. I don't care. Okay, but I think g5 seems like the correct response. Take. Here. Now go f4. You see,
Ooh, yeah.
this is nice. No e5 square for you. Now we'll just go rook e2 and bishop g2 and we'll take back this pawn.
This just, oof. Just wonderfully done.
Okay. So that's okay. I protect all my stuff. You can go in with the rook, I don't care. See, now he takes. You know, the knight is stuck.
It can, oof.
He can go to h7 at some point, but you can't continue from there. Okay, so he goes back, protects c3, no rush. Bishop f3. Okay, this is very nice.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go here and here and start munching all the pawns.
It's Jesus.
I think also he'll, if necessary, put his king on e4.
Yeah.
So maybe you go like this, I go here. You do something, I don't know. And you go here. Go here. Now you go here.
Yeah.
So no rush.
Jesus.
This is very nice. You can't take here. So go here. And you have to go here because otherwise here. And you just push.
Wow.
Or do you? Getting ahead of myself here.
Oh, you don't know.
Maybe I can. No.
Yeah, I think it's one move too slow.
Or here. Do you do something else? You go here, maybe,
Yeah.
to trap the rook so it doesn't. You can't go here because I'll just go here.
Yeah.
And where do you go with the rook? Go here, just take.
It's
hopeless.
yeah. It's truly just
Goes rook d2 immediately. There. Bishop e8. Now it takes.
yeah. And two moves later, it's
Okay, but now you're like a million pawns up, so
yeah. There's
now just
no hope.
a6.
Jeez, that
It's a really nice game.
absolutely slow crusher. Oof.
So, this is how Jungmin beats everybody. It's really
Yeah.
amazing. So, maybe we have some more result.
Uh,
We have just one game going.
yeah.
The
Let's
first
check
one.
that one. Yeah, it's
Is
probably not
Bla-
far from anything.
Is Black winning?
I don't. Uh.
Okay, Black is probably winning.
Yeah.
You go here now, I guess.
I mean, as soon as White runs out of checks, I guess.
But there's no more checks.
Yeah. So yeah, like, Black is probably winning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Black is just like a move away from.
You can go
promoting.
here also.
Black is almost just promoted. Yeah. I mean, this game is probably over by now.
He went King G7. Now you just promote.
Yeah.
And you promote with check.
Which is beautiful.
I don't know, there's no stalemate checks.
I mean, he has a queen. It's gonna be difficult to stalemate.
So now I think Hilmir will be the only one with
3 points.
with 3 points, with full score, yes. And a few people on I think
Yeah.
yeah.
There we have it. Black one.
So I think Youngmin and Vignir,
Yeah.
maybe William also.
Yeah.
I don't know with Matthias, but a few people on 2.5.
Yeah.
So I think as all the games are done, and we have done our 2 hours now, I think we'll wrap up this stream.
Ooh.
And continue tomorrow.
Yeah. I believe tomorrow the stream will start at like 4 or something like that.
I think we start at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we start 2 hours into the round.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. At 2 with Harry Schussler.
So Grandmaster
Ooh.
Harry Schisler will join us here tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we'll sign off for now, and we will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock.